Well, as we are still in the midst of hurricane season, more and more of our state is at risk for severe flooding.
New at 4, we are taking a deeper look at how North Carolina is handling that risk by the year 2050. Tom George joining us live in studio with the latest in our climate series, Weathering Tomorrow. Tom.
Well, Joel and Amber, nearly a month ago, Idalia passed through North Carolina, and the hardest hit area wasn't on the coast, but a little bit further inland, the town of Whiteville in Columbus County. I went back to Whiteville to see how they're recovering and why their city leaders say they should be a cautionary tale for the rest of the state. They say it's not how many times you get knocked down.
This time came to the second step, and with Matthew and Florence, it was this level.
It's about how you get back up.
It's heartbreaking when everything you own is underwater and you're throwing it away.
But after 13 times having her family business flooded over the years, Joyce Malden admits it's tiring.
You have to do it over and over. It's just sad.
When Idalia hit downtown Whiteville, 40 businesses flooded, with water maxing out at 20 inches in some places. A month later, back to normal. But in the back of their minds, it's always the calm before the storm.
We're drowning, and we just need some help.
We have lost everything at one time in here.
It's something Whiteville's emergency manager has been tracking, their floodplain map showing a sea of blue.
Yes, you could build a berm around these areas, but then you send the water possibly down here.
They say they're still playing catch up from poor engineering from decades prior, but it all comes down to resources.
We have done a lot of FEMA grants, brick grants, and it sounds like we're just begging, but basically it's up to finances. I mean, if we had, I can fix any flooding issue in the world with enough money.
One of the only places in the floodplain you're seeing new construction going in is right here, and look at that. Even then, you need 10 feet of reinforcements just to get to the door. And across the state, data shows just how prevalent flooding will become by 2050. While the coastal counties have the highest risk, when you factor in counties with at least a 10% risk of a major flooding event, it covers a lot of the state, including inland areas, and the vast majority don't have flood insurance. In Fayetteville, they're looking at long-term planning to mitigate those risks, including adding more green space.
It's really the most common occurrence. I mean, we don't have, say, a tornado every day, or we don't have a hurricane every day, but we know that with severe weather, flash flooding is prominent and prevalent.
Back in Whiteville, holding out hope that they won't be washed away.
I love this town. I was born and raised here. I don't want to go anywhere else. It's just home.
Yeah, this is their home, but the flood risk could change the industries that power their economy in Whiteville. Now, one idea that the emergency management director mentioned was that if they can get some of that water diverted, they could turn Whiteville into an eco-tourism destination with possible kayaking. That way they could become a tourist destination on the way to the beach. But these kinds of considerations are things that towns will have to be thinking about over the next 30 years. As he mentioned it would be the Asheville of the East as a tourist destination, but having to get creative.
Yeah, thinking about that and also finding the money to pay for it.
That is always the problem, but yes, it is just one of those areas we are certainly watching and hoping that they continue to recover. Tom, thanks.
Tom, thank you.